Okay guys, so here we go into the reproductive system. Okay, right here we have the male reproductive system. Right here is the penis, testes. So this right here is the bladder. So how this works is this tube is the urethra, which connects to the bladder, but it also connects to the prostate gland as well. Now the testes here also connect up over here. So let me explain what's going on here. This is the epididymis, Cowper's gland, prostate gland, seminal vesicle, bladder, vas deferens, and urethra. Okay, this down here is a closer up picture of the testicles, the testes. This is the spermatic cord, veins, arteries, vas deferens, epididymis, right here, and then testes. Scrotum is the place, the sac in which the testes are hanging out in. Okay, so what happens is first sperm is produced in the small seminiferous tubules of the testes. These are oval-shaped glands protected by a sac called the scrotum. After the sperm cells are produced, they're stored in a large coiled tube on the outer surfaces of each testicle called the epididymis, which is right here. So they start out here, go up to the epididymis. From this tube, the sperm go into a larger tube called the vas deferens, right up here. We also see it going up right here. Okay? Which eventually carries them into the external male reproductive organ, the penis, right? Along the way, the sperm is nourished by a sugary fluid from the seminal vesicle, right up here, a chemical fluid from the prostate gland, which actually is the most common site of cancer in men, and fluid in the Cowper's gland. All these different parts combine together with the sperm to become semen, which is what is produced during sexual reproduction. The semen is fluid ejaculated from the penis during an orgasm. Before the male can ejaculate, the spongy tissue surrounding the penis becomes engorged with blood, causing the penis to become stiff and hard. This is known as an erection. The tube that carries the semen from the body is the urethra. This tube also carries urine from the bladder, pee. Males also have what is called uncontrolled ejaculations during sleep, which are called nocturnal emissions. This is usually more teenager, younger men type thing. So that is how the reproductive system in males works. Okay? So, going on to female reproduction. Okay? So this is the female reproductive system. This is the side view. So if somebody is standing and you're just facing their side, this is the view. Okay? So with the female reproductive system, there is a lot of different parts as well. So starting off with this right here is the uterus. This is where a baby would be carried. This is after it was fertilized by a sperm and an egg, and I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so bladder right here, uterus, ovary. There's two, one on each side. Fallopian tube, which goes down into the uterus. I'll show you a different picture later. So this is a urethra. Both men and women have urethras going from the bladder out from the body. A men's urethra is a lot longer than a woman's urethra because of a penis. Women also have, there is a shaft of the clitoris and something called the glands of the clitoris. Right here is the anus. So this is where poop comes out. This is where reproduction happens. And this is where pee comes out. There's actually 3 different holes, as you will, where men, they just have the penis, and then they also obviously have an anus as well. Going down to this view, this is the front view. This is the vaginal cavity. Right in front of here would be the clitoris. It's not shown on this view. When men and women have sexual relations, this is where the sperm would be placed. Right here is the cervix, and this is the uterus. This is called fimbria, endometrium, which it lines the uterus, and the ovary. Now, and the vagina. I didn't say that. Now, how this works is first, cells are produced in 2 almond-shaped organs known as the ovaries. During the process of ovulation, a mature egg or ovum is released and enters one of 2 fallopian tubes, right? This side or this side, depending on which side it's produced from. For a few days, the egg cell travels toward the pear-shaped uterus. The lining of this organ thickens in preparation for a fertilized egg. If the egg is not fertilized by the male sperm cell, it'll leave the body altogether with the lining of the uterus and a small amount of blood. This is called menstruation. The lower part of the uterus is called the cervix, and this is where a common site for cancer in women is. Female organ of intercourse is the vagina. A circular fold of skin is usually present, sometimes present at the entrance to the organ is called the hymen. Basically, what that does is it protects the vagina when a female is a young child, to prevent yucky stuff getting in there, basically, because obviously when both male and female are babies, babies poop everywhere and it goes everywhere, the hymen is basically there to protect any sort of fecal matter getting into the vaginal area when baby's really little. Outside of this organ are folds of skin covered with pubic hair known as the labia. That's over here. This is kind of a very bad representation of it. And between these skin folds is a small, round, sensitive area of skin called the clitoris. And the development of the reproductive system is triggered by hormones of estrogen and progesterone, which cause many physical changes in a girl. This period of change is called puberty. So what happens when a baby is formed, there has to be sperm that is in the vagina, and sperm is motile, which means it moves. And what it does is the aim is to get up here and fertilize an egg. Usually fertilization happens actually in the fallopian tube. So it's sort of a specific timing to get it right. So the egg has to release and is heading down. It usually takes 1 to 3 days for the egg to head down from here, from the ovary down the fallopian tube, sometimes longer, and head to the uterus. Oftentimes, most fetuses, which become babies, are fertilized in the the fallopian tube. And what happens there is when it comes to the uterus, it attaches to the wall of the uterus, which is the endometrium, and that's what this is prepared for, is a good place for the egg to attach and start forming a fetus, which grows into a baby. When a woman gives birth, we'll talk about that probably next class, that's what this whole uterus is for. It's this really big, thick muscle, which is used to protect, support, and nourish a fetus, which when the fetus is born is then called a baby. Okay, so that is a really quick rundown of the male and female reproductive systems.